Geek Out! Hey, welcome to another installment of Deconstructing the Beatles. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
And we're going to be talking about the last studio album the Beatles ever recorded, Abbey Road. So here we are. I mean, I guess this month is the 47th anniversary of the release of Abbey Road, because it came out in September of '69. In case you missed it when we were talking about Let It Be last episode, this isn't the last studio album to come out, but it's the last one they write and record.
Yeah. And on a much more positive note.
Much more positive note, much more, I mean, there's more, because they agree. They don't know for sure that they're going to break up, but it's kind of in the air. They're like, we're getting close to the end.
Yeah.
So they agree to kind of put up the boxing gloves, matches too, who the hell knows. And, they approached George Martin to produce the thing again. He's like, if we're going to do it, let's do it the way we used to do it. And they're like, cool. And so that's how we got Abbey Road, which started production in April of 1969, a couple months after the disastrous Get Back sessions. You got anything to say before we jump into Abbey Road?
Well, I guess it was originally called Everest, right? And it was going to be, the cover was going to be the picture of Mount Everest. And then they realized, why don't we just go outside and take a picture? This is one of those examples of the Beatles were so big, even though they were on the way out, whether they knew it or not, that they could take a picture. They could take a picture of them crossing a road, and it'd become an international iconic place that would probably piss off the locals for the rest of their days.
It's actually a busy thoroughball.
Yeah, there's a website, like there's like a
live
webcam of Abbey Road. It's probably just truckers going, God damn it! But something that's always been on my list. I always want to walk across Abbey Road barefoot, but maybe one day. But that's something I've always wanted to do. But no, I mean, I think this is, where Let It Be goes wrong in almost all the wrong, all the wrong ways. But this is one that, does things a lot better. And like we said, it ends on a more positive note. They get George Martin back. They, basically like they get the band back together, like think they're, you get Harrison, as we'll discuss track by track, you get two of the best Harrison tracks of all time. One of them, I think, being one of just the greatest Beatles songs of all time. Ringo writes his most iconic, which, 50-50, but, you even get a drum solo for Ringo, but like even the way the album ends, aside from Majesty, it's so much of it is just it's like a storybook ending for a band that we wouldn't be doing a podcast if we didn't love the band as much as we do. So it's such a great way to end their career. Yeah, it's
it's bittersweet, but it's so much more happy than Let It Be, or even the White Album.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like most of the people I've met in my life, this is their favorite Beatles album. Like, more than any other album, whenever anybody ever says anything, it's always Abbey Road for most people.
You know whose favorite Beatles album this is?
Whose?
Eric Stevenson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last time I talked to Eric, I was just like, I gotta ask, man. I was like 2 or 3 scotches deep. I gotta ask, man. The Nowhere Men look like the Abbey Road Beatles. What's your favorite Beatles album? He's like, it was Abbey Road.
In reality, it's probably like, you walk up and you go, Stevenson, Beatles, and then in your mind you created this thing that he said Abbey Road, and you come back smiling. Hey, guess what his favorite Beatles album is?
Yeah,
Sam, Eric Stevenson's not here.
Yeah,
hey, who the fuck did I talk to?
That's why they
scared waiter in the background, like, oh shit.
That's why they still let me write the column, because I didn't actually talk to the publisher.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Remember, we got that really nice, the White Album variant of Nowhere Men?
Yeah.
He signed for us. That was really
personalized
cool.
And everything. He was like, thanks for all the hard work. And I was just like,
yeah.
So, yeah. But
awesome.
Abbey Road, man. You get like the grooviest Beatles song, the best Harrison song,
one of the heaviest,
and then Paul McCartney
the heaviest
writes,
Beatles song.
And then Paul McCartney writes Maxwell Silverhammer
about a serial killer.
Yeah, but still, it's Maxwell Silverhammer.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's about a goddamn serial killer, and it's like ding, 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 ding.
It's Sweeney Todd before Sweeney Todd. But let's
Yeah, it is. No
fir-
meat pies though.
Yeah, the first track. Well, we don't know what he does to him, but the
That's true.
The first track, like I alluded, is like the grooviest. I think the grooviest song the Beatles came up with. It's "Come Together."
Yeah.
By John Lennon. He had written it as a campaign song for Timothy O'Leary, who was running for governor of California. It was O'Leary's, Tibetan Book of the Dead that had really influenced Lennon during all his acid trips, influences him writing Tomorrow Never Knows. And, he's like, well, he's running for... And then he gets busted for drug possession because, all the acid, again.
Yeah, because it's Timothy Leary.
Yeah. But, Lennon was like, well, this is a damn good number. It probably wouldn't have worked out as a campaign song. Granted, the campaign didn't work out either.
Yeah.
So he turns it into this, this really funky, awesome, groove. One of the best, bass lines that McCartney ever, lays down. McCartney is kind of bummed that he doesn't get to do the backing vocals. It's John providing his own backing vocals. Because it's one of the few songs John plays live after the Beatles break up. It's
great.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic one, I think we mentioned way back, somehow we got in one of our diatribes about something, about the eeriness of the line, shoot me.
He's not going, shoot.
Yeah,
he's saying, shoot me.
Yeah, he's saying, shoot me. So, and again, I think that's more of a drug thing. But,
yeah, at the time he's fighting a heroin addiction.
Yeah. The lyrics, I remember, being a little kid hearing this, the imagery in the lyrics of what does this mean? But, just throwing so much at you. And like Sam said, just a great funky number, great guitar work. McCartney's bass work is top notch. It really is a great opener of great track after track for the most part.
Mm. Yeah, no, it's just fantastic. I'm sure if Chris were, with us, he would he would be talking about how he prefers the Michael Jackson version.
Yeah.
And then might even prefer the Aerosmith version over the Beatles version.
No. I don't know the Michael Jackson version that well, but the Aerosmith version, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Which they make a point to play on all their live DVDs now.
Some of their greatest hits.
Is it?
Yeah. Skip
shit.
that song.
Yeah.
The song after is Kings and Queens, which is awesome if you've never heard that.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, check out Toys in the Attic. That's a great...
That's my favorite.
That's the best Aerosmith album.
But when I say that to people, they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're like, why?
Why isn't it the Armageddon soundtrack?
They're like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
It's not like Rocks Off or something. Because 80s Aerosmith is what everyone's like. That's Aerosmith. And for me, I'm like, no. When they all look like hot chicks in Toys in the Attic, and Steven Tyler looked like a hot chick, that was. what does that mean? That was the. They had that song "Big 10-Inch Records." Suck on my big 10-inch records. That's Toys in the Attic is fucking great, and then
fantastic
Just Push Play, which I know that's the holy terror of their lineup, and I fucking love Just Push Play.
Damn,
good art. No, that's just, I feel like a lot of people even the band throws away Just Push Play, but I think that's a really cool experimental album.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like their cover of Come Together though.
No, I'll take the original version any day of the week.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Lennon was writing about each of the Beatles? That's the rumor. And we need to talk more about the album cover. All the fucking clues.
Oh, yeah. Let's dive into that. So first of all, interesting, I never actually heard that about writing about all the different Beatles.
Yeah, so good looking because he's so hard to see. That's Paul McCartney, allegedly.
Yeah. Here comes old Flat Top. He's got toe jam football. Monkey finger, he shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you, you know me. Hold you in his armchair, you can feel his disease.
And that was still better than the Aerosmith version.
Yeah. Anyway, but the album cover though, let's dissect the Beatles. Bum bum ba bum bum. We're dissecting Beatles, even it's called Deconstructing. We just created a new thing on our last album.
Still better than the Aerosmith version.
Yeah. So let's dissect the Beatles, shall we? So on the front cover you get
and welcome to Slumbers.
Actually, it's actually pronounced. Isn't it the Beatles?
The Beatles. Yeah.
So anyway, let's break down the album cover. So this is some prime time. Paul is dead. Again, we will disclaim this again and again and again. We all just think it's fun. I think it's fun.
I don't think Paul McCartney's dead.
I don't think he's dead either. But there was when I was gullible and like first time I heard it, I was like, wait, is he? But then common sense and a brain kicked in, and I was like, he's not dead, but it's fun to look at, like we're gonna do now. So pull out your copy of Abbey Road, vinyl, CD, picture on the internet, and look at the four of them crossing. Now, what you get is the idea that it is a funeral procession. Correct?
Yes.
Am I correct on that assertion?
You are correct.
So, if we look at John Lennon per se,
he's leading the pack.
He is the priest.
Yes,
the preacher,
all white,
looking like a Jesus man.
Yeah, he's grown out his hair. I guess his hair was already long and let it be, but it's grown out even more, and he's grown out his beard.
Beard like a motherfucker. I wish I could have a beard like that.
Apparently, I mean, good God, that picture was taken in like July of '69.
Yeah.
He's relatively clean shaven.
I know. What the fuck? Yeah. No, but like if you think about there's like pictures that are taken like in the same year, and it's like beard, no beard, beard, no. Like what the fuck? Okay. Anyway, that means like during like Act 1 Beatles, that dude was shaving like every 10 minutes.
Probably.
Like in between Ed Sullivan numbers, like, gonna make a show, and they play like their first song, and Lennon's like shaving real quick. He's like, oh no, it's coming! It's coming! There you go. And so the second guy we get on there is a Mr. Ringo Starr.
Richard Starkey, yes.
Now the rumor is that Ringo Starr is the mourner. He is the one who's come
I've also heard the funeral director, but yes.
That could be true. Okay, so we'll go with funeral director or mourner, but he is the one in attendance, let's say.
Yeah.
He's in attendance. He's in a suit.
Dressed in black.
He looks a little more well-kempt, but he's still got a beard, or at least facial hair, if I remember correctly, long hair. After that, we get Mr. Paul McCartney.
Sir Paul McCartney.
Sir Paul McCartney, who is barefoot. And he is the corpse because Paul is dead.
Yeah, because corpses, I mean...
don't wear shoes when they cross roads.
Well, when they're in the coffin, because you don't see their feet.
Yeah. Oh, they don't wear shoes?
They don't. This got really morbid really
But I mean, that's weird. I mean, okay. Okay, anyway. I mean, Jesus. But anyway... so, okay, yeah, I guess I just figured because it was like, he looked like whatever.
He's also out of step with the rest of the Beatles.
Out of step with the rest of the Beatles.
And he's got a cigarette in his hand.
And he's wearing shitty-looking clothes.
And a slang term for cigarette is coffin nail.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's looking very, like, not dressed, like the rest of them are wearing nice suits. Yeah. Except for Harrison. We'll get to why Harrison's not wearing his in this equation. So, Paul McCartney is the corpse. I guess, of course, they asked Paul McCartney years later, and he goes, it was a hot day. You can clearly see in between photos. There's that great photo of Lennon and McCartney sitting on the curb together. He's got sandals on.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just a hot day. Out of step. Whatever.
Yeah. It's July.
Yeah. Then you get Mr. George Harrison, and what I always heard is that he is the grounds. He's the guy who's
the grave digger.
Grave digger, which is why he's in kind of the denim type suit.
Yeah.
And looking, a little more. He's got the longer straight hair, the beard as well. So again, he's the groundskeeper. Also, if you look in the back, there is a Beetle, a Volkswagen Beetle, with a license plate that says 28IF, which you add, McCartney would have been 28 if he was still alive. Also, if you flip it over on the back, it says the Beatles. There is a streak of light hitting the Beatles on one of the bricks that casts a shadow of a skull. And that was another one. People were like, it's a skull, Paul's dead. Also, I think on there, like not recently, but a couple years ago, perhaps somewhere around there was an old man who's in the photo.
Yeah, he's walking down.
He had no idea what the Beatles were, and he became like kind of famous, for being in this photo, and he had no idea.
Yeah, just an American tourist.
And I think, the Volkswagen actually sold in an auction.
Yeah. Then of course
years later,
Paul makes fun of it with Paul is Live.
Paul is Live with the sheepdog, which we like to call Martha, even though we kind of figured out mathematically probably not the same Martha. But it's a sheepdog.
Yeah,
so
Paul is Live is what, 91?
Somewhere around there. Yeah, he's definitely that'd be a very old dog. So, but of course, I'm sure he loves sheepdogs. So anyway, that's a lot of the fun. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, we could have talked about, really dissecting some of the earlier album covers, but this one is chock full.
Yeah.
And especially each Beatle and going with the come together, each Beatle being represented in the song, perhaps.
Yeah.
A cool idea. And then each of them,
Holy Roller being George Harrison.
Of course, yeah. And being, having this basically funeral procession, which is interesting. I wonder if that was something as like rampant back then as it is like now. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's that Batman comic.
Yeah, that's
where they're
right.
trying to figure out if Paul is dead.
Was that Neil Adams that drew it?
Probably.
Yeah. Probably. I should have asked him that when I met him. $20.
Yeah. Selfie with Neil, $20.
Selfie with Neil. That's the name of the indie rock band. Selfie with Neil. But anyway, yeah. So that's some of the fun on the album cover. Again, iconic. Would you say it's the most iconic, or Sgt. Pepper still reigns supreme?
Probably. I'll give it to Abbey Road.
I think nowadays Abbey Road. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is just because the album
Sgt.
Crossing.
Pepper is a little too complex, a little too loud.
True. Loud is a good way to put it. I have a great shirt I got from Gettysburg, which I love to always visit Gettysburg, and it's who's crossing it?
It'd be what?
Robert E. Lee, Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain,
Meade?
Maybe Meade, and then
Longstreet?
Longstreet's one of them. Yeah, I think it's Meade. Anyway, it's the four of them crossing.
Be the Union commander.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I always like the little, like I've seen like the Muppets. I've seen, all different kinds of.
Everybody crosses Abbey Road.
It's cool,
I've crossed Abbey Road.
Yeah.
I didn't get my picture taken because again, it's a busy fucking intersection.
Yeah, like I said, I would do. There's a great video of Dream Theater on one of their early live albums when Kevin Moore was still in the band. My favorite keyboardist with Dream Theater, and
Jordan Rudess.
No, he's great, but it's Kevin Moore, and Portnoy being a massive Beatles fan. Like if you could have brought one person on, like celebrity or famous person, Beatles wise, like I'll give you a second.
Wasn't a Beatle himself.
Yeah, like I'll give you a second to think if you can think of it. Me would be Mike Portnoy. Like Mike Portnoy, he would I think fit in perfectly with us about like how just obsessed he is with the Beatles.
Sure.
And
he was in Yellow Matter Custard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he seeing him behind like a Ringo-sized kid is like the craziest thing because he's usually got like that massive. Anyway. I think it was the monster he called the purple monster or whatever. Anyway, there's a video of him really quick. And of course, they're not as big as they are now. Back then, this is like 91, probably 92, during Images and Words. And he runs across Abbey Road and they have it on like, video camcorder and he has his socks and shoes off. And he's so excited. He's like, yes, yes. He's like so excited.
He's doing barefoot.
Yeah. But I would agree with you nowadays. Definitely, I think it's definitely the most iconic of the Beatles. And I'd put Revolver obviously not as much. I think the White Album is iconic for all kinds of reasons, but it's just because it's white, Yeah. But Sgt. Pepper,
Hard Day's Night, I always like.
A Hard Day's Night. Yeah.
High Fidelity does the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So. Come together. Good track.
It's a winner
and a good album cover as well.
Yeah, one of the last Beatles songs to go number one on the charts. It's a rocker. The next one is possibly the greatest love song in the Beatles' oeuvre. It is certainly one of two songs written by George Harrison that's on this album and both of his songs are like
Top
among
notch.
the best
like
songs that he's ever written.
Yes,
as a Beatle, as a not Beatle. I guess he wasn't in any bands like Wings.
He wasn't. Yeah, just in a solo.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
But no, it's.
I guess he was in Traveling Wilburys.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's better than anything.
Yeah,
in Traveling
sure.
Wilburys,
Yes.
As much as I love, End of the Line, great number. But the no, it's something.
Yes. This is, definitely my favorite Harrison track, and like you said, like. Perhaps the greatest Beatles love song, which is crazy when you think that they had McCartney in the band, who's like known for the love song.
Silly love songs, in fact.
Yeah, maybe I'm Amazed being, I think, his.
I would argue that's his.
That's the best. That's what he said he wanted to be remembered for. So.
And I Love Her on A Hard Day's Night is one of my favorite love songs that the Beatles ever did, that McCartney ever wrote.
Yeah, My Love is another great Wings track as well. So many great ones, but Something is. It's a song that. It's not overly complicated with the lyrics, and it just is a perfect representation of the sound and joy of being in love with somebody, and the melody is astonishing. It's the crescendo of the chorus, the video for it with all their significant others.
Yeah, which was filmed several months later. So they're all in their own.
It's such a great track,
it was a song he had been kicking around since the White Album sessions.
Oh, it's so good.
And then he finally revisited it. And initially he was like, I wasn't writing about my first wife. I was writing about Ray Charles. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Come on now.
Come on. Who do you think you're kidding, Georgie?
Isn't this the one that Sinatra called his favorite Lennon-McCartney track?
Yeah. Yeah, poor George. Even then he can't.
He can't get it.
Yeah, but I think it's his only number one song with the Beatles.
It's up there, man. Like, it's so damn good.
Tops the charts.
Yeah,
top the pops.
I know we're only 2 tracks in, but where does this rank on your favorite on the album?
Oh man, it's like easily in the top 3.
Yeah.
It's
so damn good.
I gotta say, like.
The other Harrison track in the top 3 too?
yeah, it is. It's 2 Harrisons and a come together. That's my top 3 for the album. And then
I'll have to think about it, but this song is definitely in the top 3.
The number 4 slot would probably be "Oh Darling."
When you told me you didn't need me anymore.
Well, you know I nearly break. But that's not the next song.
No, it's not. Next song is without a doubt my favorite McCartney track of all time.
Okay,
No, no, it's not really.
it's my old roommate Garrett really loved this track, and I would just be like, "Why the fuck?"
Yeah.
It's the epitome of granny shit, perhaps. Maxwell's Silver Hammer, which is something you see them rehearse and try to record a demo for during the Let It Be or Get Back sessions, and everybody's miserable because it's Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
It's one of the songs like Obla Di Obla Da that it just lasted forever.
Apparently, it took like at least 3 weeks. During the Abbey Road sessions, not the Get Back sessions, because the Get Back sessions are only like 3 weeks, to record what became the final version of Maxwell's Silver Hammer.
It's so goddamn goofy. Like, I don't hate this song, but
Lennon refused to participate at it after a certain point. He's just like, I'm not going
but
to
it
be on
is
this
like
track.
the goofiest. And like, maybe started part of physical science on the bum. Remember the end when it's just like you think it's over and he's like no, and he comes back and kills one more person. We're like, do it all fucking over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, maybe if this was on Let It Be, it would fit better because like it's compared to the other tracks on this, it's just a goofy, weird song.
Even Ringo, who's normally like pretty cordial, pretty diplomatic, he's just like, this was the worst session that we ever had.
Yeah, it's just a goofy, weird song. Not my favorite McCartney track. You know, I don't hate it. But it's not my favorite. You know, it definitely had a place in between in between the two songs. It's in between.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like solid number. Maxwell Silver Hammer.
Yeah.
It's probably in the bottom of 3 for me for this album.
Oh, it definitely is. Yeah.
Right there with Because and Sun King.
Oh, really? Because?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's not it for me. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Queen before Queen. But
yeah, but maybe Queen was best left to Queen.
Oh no, definitely, yeah. But anyway, the next track.
Next track is "Oh Darling," which is again like would probably take my number 4 spot.
So luckily, McCartney, you know, not down and out for long. You know, this is a great track.
Having said that, I always thought it kind of throws me off because you've got a Lennon number, a Harrison number, a McCartney number, and then another McCartney number.
Yeah.
Like I would have.
They could have had the Ringo track in there.
If I was sequencing the album, if for whatever reason they're like,
but it's McCartney.
Yeah, it's a McCartney track.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic McCartney.
It is,
track.
and this is the one that supposedly Lennon was super bummed because he thought he could have sang it better.
It is kind of in his, especially in terms of his early Beatles work. It is kind of more in his vocal range, you would think.
You know, and McCartney would show up before anybody else and just sing over and over again because he wanted his voice to sound like a singer doing a set at 2 a.m. with cigarette smoke infecting his voice. And he does. I mean, like, you hear the track. He rips on this.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job.
He definitely rips. And the funny thing is, I don't think he even needed to do all that. Like, it adds more to the mystique and legend of that song and McCartney as a performer. But, you know, you listen to Helter Skelter, again, he's going on probably for a while with that. But he's got that rasp and that rip with his voice. So I think, it's a good song. I like this song a lot. It definitely, like, maybe it was on there because they knew, like, dude, Jesus Christ, dude, Maxwell Silver Hammer, what's going on? Throw in "Oh Darling" there. You know?
Salvage him.
Yeah.
Save him.
Save him.
It's
save the Queen. Every fucking movie, if you hear "God Saves the Queen," a gunshot will happen right afterwards.
Yeah, the one I always think about is Mr. Brown with Judi Dench as Queen Victoria. Yeah. But I mean, obviously Titanic as well.
God save the Queen,
and then he blows his cranial juice everywhere.
Yeah. Cranial juice.
That's a metal album.
Yeah.
That's
like a Kawar album.
Yeah.
Cranial juice.
Baby, don't lose that number.
I think you say cranial juice. Baby, don't lose that cranial juice. Baby, don't lose that cranial juice.
We're just going fucking bonkers on this one.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's the last studio album. Of course we're going to go bonkers. It's the Beatles. They're having a good time. We're having a good time.
We're having fun, aren't we?
Are we having fun? Yes, we're having fun.
Blue.
The next song is Octopus's Garden.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fan. I always felt the song would be perfect in an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes. Or
God damn it, yes.
Yeah. Or Breaking Bad when Walter takes meth for the first time or something.
It's like Did that happen? I don't remember.
No, Jesse.
Yeah.
I remember we were like when I was like while watching it. I was watching for the first time. You were rewatching it. We all had our perfect track for that time he takes.
It takes heroin for the first time,
and like
probably be "Sweet Emotion" by Aerosmith.
I forgot what I picked, but I'm just thinking of now the tiptoe through the window, and yeah, like that'd be fucking horrifying. I don't remember what track I chose though, but anyway, this song's pretty cool. I think it's obviously. Not Ringo's most well-known song because everyone thinks he wrote Yellow Submarine because everyone thinks if you sing the song, you wrote it.
Yeah. Which was kind of the way it was.
It kind of was, yeah. It was with Queen as well. Second Queen reference. But it's good. I mean, again, I've said I don't like "Don't Pass Me By" better, but I think this is much more user-friendly,
much more polished. More,
it does. And this is this. "Don't Pass Me By" is perfect on the White Album. Octopus's Garden is perfectly placed. Although it probably should have placed one track before, like Sam said, on Abbey Road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic little number. You can see Ringo and George working on the song, because George, for all intents and purposes, co-wrote Octopus's Garden, but gave it to Ringo. He's like,
I always heard that this line that fucking floored Harrison when he heard it was, "We would be warm below the storm." Like, he always loved that line.
Yeah. And it was when he was having a vacation with Peter Sellers, on Peter Sellers' boat, they were served fish and chips, but instead of getting like fish, so it isn't fish and chips at all, they were given octopus
and chips,
and the captain was like, "Yes, octopuses collect gardens," and he's like, "Oh, I will write a song about this.
I will write a song about this in like a year and a half." And we will record it.
Yeah. "Yes, Father, I shall become
an octopus." Yeah, he's sitting in his fucking room, and he's like, they're like, they have octopuses have gardens. And he's like, "Oh, great!" All of a sudden, a fucking flaccid octopus comes flying through the window, just flats on the ground.
Aren't all octopi flaccid?
But I mean, like, it's not even moving, just and like on the ground. Yeah. And he reaches for the bell.
Yeah.
He reaches for the pen to write the song.
Yeah. And he didn't play it live when I saw him.
I know, but you saw "Don't Pass Me By" though, right?
He played "Don't Pass
Me By."
Man. He played it on the piano.
Boom, 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 boom.
Listen to your footsteps
coming up the drive. Yeah, still better than the Aerosmith one, right?
Everything's better than the Aerosmith one. Everything.
Waiting for your knock, dear, on my old front door. I don't hear you. Anyway, sorry. I like that. I think that song's a like honest to God jam. I love it.
I like "Don't Pass Me By."
Jangly one.
You can listen to our White Album episodes.
Episodes?
Yeah, there's 2. Just like there's 2 discs.
Because last time we tried that, Sam lost his voice.
Yeah,
not on this podcast.
We had an earlier podcast when I was in grad school called Cinema Circus, and
God,
because
that was so long ago now, right?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago, and because we're fucking psychos, we decided to do all the Beatles albums.
This is the second time. Although to be fair,
we did that in reverse order.
Yeah, we did in reverse order, but we didn't finish. I think we ended with Revolver. We never finished.
I wanted to do Rubber Soul,
but here's the fucking batshit thing: we're doing it all over again.
Yeah.
And then the other fucking batshit thing is, which I feel like we'll do eventually down the line. We've kind of done already. Yeah. Is we did an hour for each era of the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did James Bonding 4 years ago.
We did James Bonding before James Bonding. Yeah.
And we did it in like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah. Because we're efficient. I like to think it's our professionalism.
Yeah. Every time. It's our professionalism.
Yeah.
As we imagine a flaccid octopus splashing through a fucking window.
Yeah, and sing like just fucking assholes.
Yeah.
When we did the White Album, we tried to do all 30 tracks. And by the end of it, I'm like losing my voice. I'm like, and this one's long.
Yeah, and then the fucking guy who was producing it for us, Matt, just got up and left. He's like, "You guys know it hit the space bar when it's over," and just went out and smoked a cigarette,
just like George Martin.
Yeah, with the space
during
bar
the White Album sessions. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the track next. The next track, I mean.
Sure.
Because it's in top 3 for real.
For you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a You, She's So Heavy.
Yeah.
I'm taking the lead. Sorry.
Go for it.
I just said it. I said the title. It's usually your
totally
thing.
Take the lead, yeah.
Because I think this song is fucking
it's so
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so goddamn awesome. It's the heaviest Beatles track, not just because the word heavy is in it, because when you listen to it, especially with headphones and the white noise that kicks in the end and the fact that it cuts off in the middle and it's so fucking crazy.
And it builds.
It builds, yeah.
It builds.
Like the verse with the, Lennon singing with the guitar the guitar is mimicking the vocal line. That's cool and all, but once it's and it just goes and just drives and is so heavy. And when TJ and I saw Abbey Road on the river, there was a band called Abbey Road Live that plays the entire album live, and each of them dress up like the front cover on the album. And when they played this song, to hear this song live, like I'm getting goosebumps again thinking about it. To hear, because the Beatles obviously never play it live, but to hear this fucking song live, dude, as the sun was setting in the background on the fucking Potomac, here comes this song, and it's just building and building. They have the white noise playing, and they're soloing a little more in it, like they're jamming a little more, and they perfectly all, because they've been playing this for years probably, they perfectly all end at the same time. They don't even look at each other. They just boom, they end.
Yeah,
it is so cool.
That was something that Lennon had come up with. This song is about him wanting Yoko so bad because apparently she's so heavy. The
he's not heavy. He's my brother.
Yeah. He's my brother.
I'm afraid I can't do that. He's my brother. I own that movie.
So, and this is a song that he had written during the Get Back sessions, and then
Yeah.
you can see him rehearse it. Basically, this is the leftovers from Get Back with some new tracks.
Yeah.
So they're they build musically on the track, and afterwards he's with the sound engineer, and he's listening to the playback, and he's like, cut the tape there.
Yeah.
And so that it just comes to a sudden abrupt end, which even though I know it's coming because I've been listening to this song for years,
Yeah.
It always throws me off.
It's I mean, same, because it lulls you into this like hypnotic fucking, and just when you feel like it can't go anymore, that's when it cuts off. And it's like I said, it doesn't cut off at the end of like a bar of music. It cuts off in like the middle.
Yeah.
Like the second or third beat, like it's boom, it's gone.
Yeah.
A thing that I always liked, and maybe Portnoy did it years later with the song "Pull Me Under" by Dream Theater. It cuts off in the middle of it. Now their rationale was because the song is about death, and you never know when it's going to come, and it just comes out of nowhere, and it's final. But I'm sure that Portnoy, being a massive Beatles fan, he had to have that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, and there's the. I mean, like you were saying with the white noise as it builds, it almost sounds like the tape reel is starting to go off the fucking.
It's like at the end of Random Access. I don't know why I'm fucking saying all these other bands, but at the end of Random Access Memories, Daft Punk, on the last track, they crank it so much that you hear the speaker pop.
Yeah.
At the end of that album.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This song is so fucking cool. Like I love this song so much.
It's great. Closes out side one, perfect way to just kind of like this abrupt.
How many people you think thought like they're fucking vinyl and everything, which is fucked?
Yeah.
Because again, it's the end of a side.
Yeah.
Like they don't have another song. They go, okay, now the next song is. It's like, wait, I'm missing some of this song.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure people were probably going like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the internet to pop onto and say, no, it's just that's how it goes.
Yeah. And then you flip it over and it's Here Comes the Sun.
Oh, beautiful.
You get this really dark, sinister, really ominous number with again that surprise ending, and then you flip it over and it's like the happiest song on side two that kicks it off. It's all it's a toss up between. I think Here Comes the Sun probably wins.
I mean, you're
two Harrison numbers.
You're winning either way with picking either one. Like I'm a little more something, you're a little more. Here Comes the Sun. But no, I mean it's so fucking wonderful.
I was going for the Osmonds, and you were just saying.
Well, I said I should, if I was going for the Osmonds, I would have said I'm a little bit country.
And
But I said I'm a little bit something, and I went, and if we both just muddled over ourselves, I'm a little bit.
Yeah, if we were on the same page, I would have said I'm a little more Here Comes the Sun. But no, I'm totally Donny Osmond in this equation. God, fuck that's not an aspiration.
Christ Almighty!
But Here Comes the Sun.
Here Comes the Sun is amazing. It's one of my favorite little videos in Guitar Hero, the Beatles Rock Band. Sorry, they're just like, oh, sun,
here it comes.
That's my favorite part of the song, at least.
It's a fantastic number. It was written because at this point the Beatles have started Apple Corps, so they're taking regular business meetings now. Did you know that it was a business meeting? It was George Harrison that inspired the track "Band on the Run."
Really? I didn't know that.
So in the '70s,
save it for the Band on the Run podcast.
yeah. All those Wings albums.
I'll take that hit.
Yeah. I'll talk Band on the Run and maybe Venus and Mars. And you know what? I own Back to the Egg, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I'll do Red Rose Speedway.
Yeah. I own wings at the speed of sound. But so they're obviously the Apple core still continues after the Beatles break up, and so they're still taking business meetings into the 70s. And one particularly long, the Beatles aren't built to be businessmen.
Yeah,
they're built to be musicians.
Yeah.
And after in the middle of one particularly long business meeting, George Harrison goes, "Well, if we ever get out of here," and McCartney was just like, you could just see him
like the camera's zooming on his head. He's like dun 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 dun,
because that's the spirit of Band on the Run, right?
Yeah.
That's why he records in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah, and he gets mugged and loses all the master tapes.
Yeah,
and has to start from scratch. He tells a funny story where like he gets mugged, right, and they take the tapes, and he goes, they probably were driving away and saw the tapes, and they just looked at it, and they either listened to it or they just threw it away. They're like, "What is this shit?"
Yeah. We want money.
Yeah, we want money.
But that's the entire spirit of Band on the Run is let's get out of here and just like make music again.
Yeah, let's not record in Abbey Road, even though we're talking about Abbey Road.
Yeah.
let's
well, let's not like be an Apple core. Just like the spirit of Here Comes the Sun is. I mean, Here Comes the Sun was written because George Harrison skips out on a business meeting.
Yeah.
Because it was finally spring after a long, lonely winter.
Didn't was it this song that he wrote like in his garden or Clapton's garden?
Clapton's garden.
And Clapton was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, some documentary like Clapton points out the tree. He's like, that's the tree where he wrote Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah. Does could Gary Oldman play Eric Clapton?
Now.
Like old like looking back like old Eric Clapton?
Yeah, that's actually like genius casting.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
So, cuz like they're like the same.
He has more of a chin than Clapton.
Yeah, Clapton has like
the top half of a head.
the Zach Braff, Tom Green chin or lack thereof.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost Cthulhu-esque.
Yeah. It's
like if you put tentacles on, you would have Cthulhu.
It's like a Muppet.
I really hope Eric Clapton's never going to listen to this shit.
No.
Tweet at us. Come at me, Clapton, and talk about cream. No, I'd talk about Crossroads if I was going to talk about any Cream song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like
I was in the white room.
But yeah, that's how Here Comes the Sun came about.
Good. I mean, I'm glad because it's a great track.
Well, there was a moment, apparently, according to McCartney, where they're listening to they've mastered the album. They're listening to the sequencing and everything, and he's like, for years it was me and John, but now George is like this is George's album.
Oh, Abbey Road is George's album, as far as I'm concerned. Even though he only has two tracks, but those two tracks blow almost every other track out of the water.
And here's the thing, like Harrison had been trying to become a serious guitarist again since the White Album, because he's like, I have deteriorated so much as a guitarist.
I think he was probably inspired too by going off and didn't he hang out with like the band? Like
he hung out with the band, yeah. At this point, he's hung out with the band. He's hung out, with them
as in Bob Dylan's backing band that became the band,
as in the band, like capital T, capital B, music from Big Pink, in The Last Waltz, the band. He's hanging out with them, and they're like fucking awesome instrumentalists. Like if you've never seen The Last Waltz, watch The Last Waltz. It's about the last concert the band ever has at the Starland Ballroom in San Francisco. George Harrison isn't in it. But Ringo Starr is, interestingly enough. And apparently I just went through puberty.
Yeah, you also should do the little Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
If I need to perfect the old man Jeff Bridges, because you've already perfected like the dude Jeff Bridges. And then we could do a podcast where we just talk about stuff as the Jeff Bridges. It's be crossing bridges with Jeff Bridges.
Oh man. Alter Bridges. Instead of Altered Beast, it's Altered Bridges.
Yeah, I need to get like a dip in, like a big dip in my mouth.
I'm gonna get that song, bitch. He wants to become a serious guitarist again, and you can kind of hear him, for lack of a better term, try on the White Album and Let It Be, but there's still not something quite there. But this album, even the songs he's not writing, you listen to the guitar line on Octopus's Garden, you listen to the line on I Want You, She's So Heavy, you listen to, obviously, the guitar work on both of his solo songs and in the medley. It's some of the best guitar work in his entire career, including, of course, Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah. Again, not just soloing stuff, but just as an acoustic player. I think I think there is a difference. Like, you could be a really good electric guitar player and a shit acoustic guitar player.
Yeah. I know because I am.
Because like like Roger Waters is obviously known as like the bassist and co-founder, co-lead, basically not even just basically writer of Pink Floyd for the most part, after Syd Barrett. But he is like an astounding acoustic guitar player. But he's not going to pick up an electric guitar and like play electric guitar stuff. But like acoustically, it's two different beasts. And Harrison's great at both.
Yeah.
And Here Comes the Sun proves that he's a great acoustic player.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we'll get to some stuff he does during the medley where it's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or even his work on the, his guitar line on Octopus's Garden, you're just like, fuck, because it's so good. But the next track isn't by George Harrison at all. It's by John Lennon. It's called Because.
I'm not gonna sing this fucking thing. I mean, I like. Look, as much as I was talking about earlier, like this isn't like my top 3. Like I like the vocal harmony, and I think it's something that was rattling around in my brain when I would listen, to Queen, years after discovering the Beatles and stuff, and being like, oh yeah, like that's the sound. I like that. Like I like that sound. I want more of that sound. But it's a very easily skippable track.
It is. It's one I will confess that I probably skip quite a bit, along with, second only to Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Actually, third to Sun King, which is another Lennon number.
Yeah.
That throws off the complete momentum of the
I would agree with that.
Of the medley. For me.
I would agree with that.
But Because is kind of almost like a prologue to the medley. It's like, prepare yourself. You're about to go down a musical sonic highway.
Yeah.
And, apparently I do like the keyboard line. It's very hypnotic. Apparently Lennon was hanging out at his place and Yoko was playing Moonlight Sonata on the piano and he's like, could you play those chords backwards? And that's where the keyboard line for Because comes through. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me.
I think it gives a glimpse of what possibly, like, not obviously all together now, but like I think it's what the Beatles might have sounded like a little bit in the 70s.
I think the medley is what the Beatles would have sounded like.
The medleys, yeah, but I think that experimentation, like that sparse experimentation, I could have seen, like I fucking know, but I could have seen the next album being like that. Not the whole thing, but being more like that.
Yeah, a little more atmospheric.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's talk about the medley. So the idea with the medley, originally, things at the the things at the beginning of the sessions were still kind of tense. And Lennon was arguing for all of his songs to be on one side, basically all the non-McCartney tracks to be on one side of the album, and all of the McCartney tracks to be on the other side. The compromise was McCartney had written a lot of kind of like smaller songs, and so like, well, let's just combine them all in a medley to kind of get the backlog out and put that would be the bulk of side 2. Mm-hmm. And so they're all, I mean, if you listen to it, if you get it on iTunes or if you have it on CD, they're each own tracks, but it's meant to be a full-on, like, one into the other medley, and I love it.
It's so cool. Like, here comes another music reference that's not the Beatles. Like, Billy Joel, this is how Scenes from an Italian Restaurant came about, which I think is one of the greatest freaking Billy Joel songs of all time. A lot of bands do this now, because they're like, if the Beatles can do this, like, I'm gonna try that. You know what I mean? Like,
to take it back to Band on the Run, the title track is 3 movements.
Yeah. And so I mean, I think the Beatles would all, McCartney definitely would use this later on in his career as well. But yeah, the melody as a whole, it's really fucking cool. It's funny because it kind of came out of, I'm sure the Beatles would be like, it kind of came out of like a laziness, like we don't want to finish these songs.
Yeah, it's basically we've got a backlog of songs. It's some of it's kind of like Paul Granny shit.
Oh yes, but out of this out of this kind of happy accident comes, of course, another like Beatles thing, touchstone.
Just another happy accident, like you were saying. Yeah,
touching the feedback for I Feel Fine, which we'll talk about later. But like,
it's wild that we haven't talked about.
I know. I was thinking about like bass lines. Have we? Oh, we haven't talked about that. Yeah. My favorite bass line of all time.
I Want to Hold Your Hand. Technically,
yeah. Schliebdig. We'll get on that one.
Yeah. Komm, gib mir deine Hand.
Schliebdig, ja. Schliebdig, ja. Schliebdig, ja.
See, that's when we are on the same page.
That is, yeah. Yeah, the Russian Beatles, or I'm sorry, German Beatles. We got you. Anyway, if you guys couldn't figure out what that song was, shame.
Shame
If you couldn't figure out our
Shame on you.
perfect melodies. Anyway, let's talk about this beast.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the first track, "You Never Give Me Your Money."
I like this song.
I do.
I like it a lot.
This is a song within the medley that has a couple movements of its own. There's like the slower piano driven.
Out of college, money spent. I mean, that whole line, like when I was out of college, and I was like, "Fucking shit, he's writing my life."
All the money's gone,
nowhere to go.
Damn, you're hitting me right in the nads.
It's so.
Paul.
This is honestly, this is one of my favorite tracks on the album. Like this
it's
chunk here.
This part,
This chunk here is something that I think he would remember or touch on, or maybe not at all, when Wings would kick in the high gear. This song sounds very Wings to me.
Yeah,
very Wings to me.
Yeah.
When he kicks into when the jangly piano kicks in, that's very Wings to me. And of course, the beginning is something we kind of get later on with Golden Slumbers and whatnot. But I think
that magic feeling.
It's so. I love this song. I think this is like just unhinged McCartney having a good time.
Yep.
They're not recording a gazillion takes of it.
They apparently played the entire medley, like ran through it a couple times as a band.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
Just to have
that would have been the coolest fucking shit in the world to see that. And the people who did see it, like engineers, they probably had no idea what they were seeing. But like,
just like, all right, it's another Beatles number.
Another Beatles number, yeah.
Like, it's actually like 6.
Yeah. Christ. No, this there's a couple that are okay, a couple that I'm not big fans of in the medley section, but this is probably my, if not my favorite.
Really,
definitely.
there's really just 2 movements within the medley, or songs within the medley, where I'm like, you could maybe not have that.
Yeah.
And this isn't one of them.
No.
I love "You Never Give Me Your Money." I feel like it's McCartney kind of commenting on the Apple Corps stuff.
Sure.
So much financial strife at the time.
Yeah.
Like they were losing millions, even though they established it to save money as a tax shelter. They were losing millions. Like they had they opened up a flower shop, a flower boutique in Seville Row, and by the end of it, they had to close it. But what they did to close it was they were basically like, just take all the flowers for free. Like
classic Beatles.
Yeah, classic Beatles.
Classic.
But it's hilarious. But the yeah. So yeah, this one's fine, but then it goes into like Jungle Land. Or that's what I mean. It's not the not the Springsteen song Jungle Land, but
because that's my favorite song of all time. But like for real. But yeah, it's not the best. It's
Sun King. I remember
Presto Regato. Just gibberish.
Chi felice.
It's all right. I think when I saw Abbey Road live, it's not. When I saw Abbey Road live, they like had so much fun with the gibberish. They were like saying like pop culture. They were just throwing us up. But yeah, it brings down what You Never Give Me Your Money brought up. You know what I mean? It just crash and halt for a second there. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, all the momentum is kind of sucked out of the room. It was a song that Lennon had written a bit of in India and just kind of abandoned it.
Should have left it there, Lennon.
Should have left it in India. But I remember when I was at the Outer Banks, there was that live band that played Rocky Raccoon, and they played like Sun King, and I was just like,
they did play Sun King?
They did. And I was just like, they're playing
all the hits.
All my
Did they play
favorite...
what's the song we referred to as Baby's first song?
Oh, I'm a Loser?
Yeah, did they play I'm a Loser? Is that how they started their set?
No, they didn't play I'm a Loser.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It would have been too perfect.
Yeah.
I'm a loser. I do like that. Anyway, the parts of that song, but not that.
I mean, like, again, I feel like I say this about every track, but song, but it's true. Like there are things that I like in Sun King, I think that are interesting, but it's in that medley thing. It's get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get out of here, medley.
Sun King.
Yeah, or not medley, Sun King.
Yeah.
Stay around medley.
The next one, actually, it's another Lennon number.
Mr. Mustard sleeps in the park, shaves in the dark, trying to save paper.
How awesome is the bass line in this song?
This is what should have been like. They just get Sun King out of here. But like, if Sun King had to happen to get to Mean Mr. Mustard, fine, because I love Mean Mr. Mustard.
Mean Mr. Mustard.
Bam, right back in there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great jam.
Yeah, and then it spiritually continues into Polythene Pam, though originally Her Majesty was supposed to be. That's because the opening G chord in Polythene Pam was supposed to be the closing G chord in.
Is this he's like, oh no, sorry, I'll save it like that. It goes into the next track, but the way the song ends, he's like, oh look out!
Yeah,
yeah. Came in through the bathroom window.
No, Polythene Pam has got some great, it's fine, but for me, the thing that I really like about Polythene Pam is Harrison's guitar work at the very end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid guitar work.
Which goes right into solid guitar work, and here she came in through the bathroom window.
Yeah, which we, I think, referenced earlier, like in another episode, about fans trying to get into.
Yeah. So Polythene Pam was about this chick that apparently wore, nothing but polythene. That was kind of her thing. She was Polythene Pam. I think it was actually polyethylene, but that just doesn't sound as good.
Polyethylene Pam.
Yeah.
No.
So
Polyethylene Pamela.
Yeah.
That's the full.
That was her Christian name.
Yeah. Christian name.
In the year of our Lord.
Yeah, born in the year of our Lord, 1789.
I took a pygmy. I saw Charles Hawtrey and the Deaf Aids, phase 1, in which Horace gets her oats. No, so that's where the song came from.
Yeah. I love She Came Through the Bathroom Window, though.
Yeah, which was about the apple scruffs.
Yes.
Immortalized by the George Harrison song, Apple Scruffs.
That'd be funny if you're like, immortalized by the George Harrison song.
Wawa.
Yeah. Brain Damage.
Yeah. Cracker Box Palace.
Yes, and but she came in through the bathroom window. Yeah, the guitar just keeps going.
He's playing out of his mind. It's awesome. It's some of the best guitar work he's ever done.
And McCartney's having a fucking great time. You can tell.
Yeah.
Wings-esque there as well.
Yeah, just gibberish lyrics, consciously contradictory lyrics throughout.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
I feel like for me at least, when people are like. Even if they're not referencing it, but when people come up to me and they're like, Abbey Road was my favorite album, it's so much fun. Like, whenever they're talking about it, like, for me, it's because of the medley.
Yeah.
Like, over anything else, the reason I love Abbey Road is because of the medley.
For me, it's it's between the medley and Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just both such fun, bright
and
tracks.
Something.
Yeah. Something's good, but it's a slower number. Mm-hmm. It's not a sad song.
No.
But
like I said, for me, it's all about that melody and that burst into the chorus.
Yeah. Where everything crescendos. But I think the idea was She Came Through the Bathroom Window. The Apple Scruffs were these kids that would hang out Paul McCartney's place at St. John's Wood, and
that would be us, by the way.
That would totally be us, as like 30-year-old men.
30-year-old men.
We're not Apple Scruffs. We're Apple men.
Yeah, we're the Apple. We are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of something else to say about the Apple. I was like, we're not Apple Core because like that's already a thing.
Yeah. Apple stem?
Apple stem.
Too phallic. Or not phallic enough.
With the pits.
Yeah. With the seeds.
Oh God.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, it's good. You're good. You're fine.
We good. We good.
We hood. We good.
Yeah, we hood. The apparently one of the Apple Scruffs broke into Paul McCartney's place through the bathroom window.
Yeah.
And stole pictures.
She came in through the bathroom window.
And she stole pictures and Paul McCartney's pants. And he asked for the pictures back, which he got.
And they got the pants.
He was cool with the pants. I'm sure he can afford new pants.
Yeah.
He was just fuck it. I guess I'm out a pair of pants. That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a winner. And then it goes into, I mentioned there's two songs that kind of don't do it for me, and they're both the slower numbers, because the other one that doesn't do it for me in the medley is Golden Slumber.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Golden Slumbers. I fucking do.
Yeah.
Because it's McCartney's mass, like that, the fucking smiles, like the huge fucking, the huge fucking vocals of his. I dig it. Dig it. And it's because of McCartney's vocals really more than anything else.
Sure.
It's not my favorite. I don't think it's my favorite part of the medley. But it's no Sun King either for me. So again, it's all about the McCartney big vocals, because again, we're projecting all this stuff onto it, but like when you hear it now, because it's the end, like I feel like it's the last big It is. It's the last big explosion because you get like you get the instrumentation of the end.
Yeah.
And you get like the love you and like the very like end of it. But this is it. Like this is the last.
Builds to carry that weight.
Yo, that's true. But like in terms of like McCartney being that solo guy on the piano, blasting for the last time. You know what I mean?
At least as a Beatle.
As a Beatle, like which is an interesting. That's the way I look at it, at least. So, but yeah, carry that weight. I feel like for some reason you can hear Ringo in this song so well in the vocals. I don't know what it is. His vocals cut through every. Carry that weight, carry that weight a long time.
Which is, of course, McCartney talking about the Beatles having, even though he knows on some level the Beatles are about to be done, he's like, we're going to carry the legacy of this a long time.
I mean, again, that's what makes Abbey Road so special. Like, they know.
They know. Yeah.
You know,
they don't. Apparently, like, right after like the month the album comes out, because Lennon quits in September of '69, though they keep it hush-hush until McCartney outs it when he's doing a promotional interview for McCartney 1. He's like, guys, you know, brother. I will put you down. Yeah. Personally. But the
that's how it went down. Like Lennon and McCartney sat in a fucking like, you know, diner.
Apparently Al Pacino, speaking of Heat, because that's what we're referencing now.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, he was at a special screening at like the Lincoln Theater of Heat.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, I don't think I've ever said this live before, but in Heat, the subtext was I would always kind of...
I like that he says in Heat when they're at the movie watching Heat.
Yeah. I would always go into
You guys know the film Heat?
I would go into the evidence room and get cocaine, and that's why my character was so, you know... And it's like, well, we all kind of figured.
Yeah, I remember reading about that. That was a subplot or one of those things that the directors and actors talk about that's not anywhere in the film.
Yeah.
That he's a cokehead.
Yeah. Which, again, if you've seen Heat...
got a great ass! Yeah, he's a cokehead.
Cokehead Pacino.
Cokehead Pacino.
Oh, yeah. Sitting... Actually,
running around till he gets tired and falls down.
Chasing Macaulay.
Yeah. Natalie Portman's in Heat.
So is Val Kilmer.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, it's kind of the end for him.
Yeah, that's really Batman Forever comes out that year too.
Well, yeah, that's the like that 95.
Yeah, that's Pete
He looks
Kilmer.
back and he's just like 95. God damn it.
That's his glory. That when he listens to like Springsteen's Glory Days.
Yeah, it's 95.
It's 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21 years ago.
Yeah.
Children have gone to high school and graduated college in that time.
You know, again, like working at a college, my freshmen were born in 98.
My 98 Oldsmobile's like,
you're going to get yours.
Referencing the Green Hornet car, the back beauty, and that. So
yeah.
Cool. If I ever met Chuck D, I'd be like, yo, thanks for referencing the Green Hornet. He's like, the fuck you talking about? Looking like the call the Green Hornet had. It does.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so they're carrying that weight.
It's sad, man. It's fucking sad.
But the next song is probably my favorite song in the entire medley because it's the end.
It is, and every.
Oh yeah, my story. Fuck yeah, that's right.
Oh okay.
So Lennon quits the band in September, but
I was like,
of '69.
My 98.
Hey, you're gonna get yours.
Sucker to the side, I know you hate my 98. You're gonna get yours.
But the
cruising down the boulevard, looking like some superstar. Okay, I'm done.
McCartney is like, guys, you know, we're brother. That's where it all started. Brother. You know,
I'll put you down
personally. They're
so fucking violent.
Yeah. The
he's like, I will enjoy this coffee. I will fucking shoot you in the head. I will take my gun and unload a clip between your stupid fucking eyes.
Just then again, the trick to acting like Pacino is just to act like you've just sucked a lemon. Like, you gotta.
Well, that's also De Niro, to be fair.
Yeah.
De Niro's like, you know, he's like,
I got a woman.
Yeah, he's like, I got a woman. Yeah. You know, never, you know, what is it like? Drop everything in 60 seconds. Yeah, that's the discipline. He's like, 'cause I'm not going back. I'm not going back to jail. And Pacino's like, well, here's my fucking option. You're not going back. I fucking shoot you in the face. Yeah. Not the chest, not the gut, your fucking eyes. I'm turning the corner and I'm firing a fucking loaded gun. Because I am a fucking cokehead.
So they carry that weight. And Watch Heat, kids. It's great. It's a fantastic movie.
I hope Heat
it's
comes.
inspired Chris Nolan to direct the bank heist in The Dark Knight.
Yeah. I hope Heat comes to the Alamo because the fucking sound of that movie is dynamite.
Oh, that's one that is an Alamo event for me. The Heat,
Heat's
not
so
the
good.
Heat, but Heat
Oh yeah.
is a Alamo level event.
Remember, just real quick. Remember that guy? They're tracking him, and like that guy, they're in the fucking back of the van doing like surveillance, and the guy like coughs or like bumps his fucking equipment, and Machino looks at him like, "Oh, you fuck!"
Yeah.
And then they leave, and he's like, "Jeez!" And he just goes fucking ape shit.
Yeah,
Good movie.
I love that movie. It's fantastic. Michael Mann's best.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's between that and The Insider.
Oh,
but
yeah.
You know what? Heat.
Hey, oh yeah. But Insider's fucking.
And then The Insider, and then honestly, like Last of the Mohicans. Regardless.
Oh, okay.
The,
Collateral's pretty good.
Collateral's good. I like Collateral. That's probably number 4.
I like Public Enemies too, but I know a lot of people didn't like that.
I'll
But
take it over Black Hat.
I never saw that, so yeah. I'll take it. Carry that weight.
I might actually take it over Miami Vice as well.
I never saw that, so I don't have
Okay.
interest in that movie.
But yeah, so he's like, brother, he's
Don't do it.
yeah. He's like, because they again had developed such a good rapport recording Abbey Road,
Yeah.
and they're playing, as an ensemble again. He's like, let's just play a few small clubs. It'll because that's what he always wanted to get back to being a live band again. And Lennon was just like, I think you're nuts. I quit.
Yeah.
And it just McCartney couldn't handle it. He
Yeah.
was just like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
That's
McCartney
how
goes through some dark shit.
Yeah, that's how the Beatles end. That ends with Lennon quitting when McCartney's like, "Hey guys, let's play live."
Yeah. Hey, isn't it crazy to think it starts with Lennon and McCartney meeting?
Yeah.
And being like, "Yo, play this song,"
Mhm.
and it ends with them sitting down together and Lennon being like, "No."
No.
Lennon basically starts it and ends it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
McCartney-
he took umbrage, if I may.
Yeah,
He took
you may.
umbrage that McCartney was the one that first publicly announced it.
Yeah, because again, he told him to keep it hush hush, and he comes out and says it. Again, we've joked, but it's technically true that the last person to quit the Beatles was Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
The first one, but the first one that everyone thinks of and it sticks officially is
John Lennon.
Yeah. But I mean,
fuck that up.
yeah, but I mean, I was going to say, but most people think it's Paul McCartney, because it was official, out the Beatles.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got one more goddamn song.
Yeah. Technically, we have two.
Two, yeah.
We've got The End.
Yeah.
Which is, the foresight that McCartney was like, well, it's probably going to be done. So what's the one message I want to leave them? Well, the love you make is equal to the love you take. Or the love you take is equal to the love you make.
It's the perfect ending. It's and again,
everyone gets a solo for the first time in a single track.
Yeah, and so Ringo, had to be coaxed to it. He does fine. He does it's the perfect Ringo solo. Keep it on the little the bass drum, but you can hear the guitar solos. And if you listen to any Beatles songs or like the Beatles or anything, or insane enough to do a podcast and a half about the Beatles like we did, you can tell who's who because it sums them up perfectly. McCartney's is melodic, Harrison's is technical and really just precision, and Lennon's is overdriven and loud,
just dirty
and dirty.
Yeah.
But I mean, has any band ever? Yeah. The love you take is equal to the man you make. And but has any band ever ended it better?
No, and not even Linkin Park, because their song "In the End" is on their first album.
Yeah,
that doesn't even make
fucked up.
It's not even the last track on their first album.
Fucked up.
Fucked up, Linkin Park.
Yeah. Also, that's the first track on. Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. It's my favorite album by them. Anyway, God, how many fucking bands am I going to mention that aren't the Beatles on the Jesus Christ?
All.
I guess so. Anyway, but there. So again, you ends it perfectly. In terms of studio albums, that ends it, except for the fact that McCartney, like you said, had written a little ditty called Her Majesty,
which was originally supposed to be between Me and Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam, but they're like, it doesn't quite fit.
Yeah.
And so McCartney instructed them to get rid of it, but the edict at EMI, their record label, was if it's a Beatles track, keep it, don't delete it.
And they tagged it on the end.
It isn't even on the track listings.
No, it's not.
For original
it's a
pressings.
bonus because
it's the first hidden track.
And I remember when when Abbey Road Live played it, they were getting rushed off stage because it was all timed. You have to get the next band on, and they had to play that. So everyone, their clearing off, and the guy grabs a guitar, runs on stage as they're almost pulling off, and he goes, Her Majesty is a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't have a lot to say. Bum, 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 bum. Her Majesty is a pretty nice girl, but she doesn't day to day. Want to drink and tell her I love her a lot, but I got a really little wine. Her Majesty is a pretty nice girl, so I'm going to make her mine. So I'm going to make her mine. Dum, dum. And, like, the crowd went fucking crazy, because, like, you got to end with Her Majesty, even though you kind of wish you just ended with the end, you know? But,
what I like about Her Majesty is because the final chord, that final G, was supposed to be the opening chord for Polythene Pam, and there is no final chord in Her Majesty. So that means it's unresolved.
It means they're going to get back together.
Yeah.
No, I mean, again.
It sets the stage for their solo stuff.
It does. Because that's how you resolve it.
Yeah.
That's how you fucking do it, kids.
Yeah. Make shit tons of solo albums or an album with Denny Lane and Linda McCartney. That's how you do it.
Yep.
Multiple albums with Denny Lane and Linda McCartney.
Yeah, form a band.
Yeah.
Play colleges and start over again.
Yeah. Play the pools.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Abbey Road. It's one of the best albums of all time. Certainly one of the best Beatles albums. Certainly my favorite late period Beatles album, of which, you've only got like 3, but this is it. Oh, I would lump Yellow Submarine as a late Beatles album too.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would still give it to Abbey Road over Yellow Submarine.
Oh yeah.
I mean, certainly over the White Album, certainly over Let It Be. It's just it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts on you would say your favorite number is
something. Yeah. It's something.
Yeah.
And probably something I Want You, She's So Heavy, and You Never Give Me Your Money.
Yeah. It's probably Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, and something. And Oh Darling.
Yeah. My fourth would be
The End.
Yeah, The End.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's so good. Like I said, though, we're not done.
No, we have our own Her Majesty.
You think you know me, but you haven't got a clue. Yeah, we got some more.
You can talk to me.
You can talk to me. But we got some more to talk about.
Yeah, we have 2 more episodes at least.
And then you're free. You're free to do whatever you want.
Well, I already have the whatever's.
I know you do.
Yeah. It's coming.
I fucking know you do.
It's coming. It's like Imminent's Front. It's coming. By The Who. It's another band.
Everyone.
Everybody. Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers? It's Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I was getting Tom Petty confused. Because I wanted to say Tom Petty. One more person.
Both solo and with Heartbreakers. And with the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah, that's right. And the Beatles. It's the Beatles.
Most people call this album Abbey Road. We just call it
The Beatles.
The Beatles. Yeah, man. Well, this has been another installment of Deconstructing the Beatles. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
We'll be back next time.
Good night, sweet prince.
Turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. It is not dying. It is not dying. This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.